The Seychelles Islands Foundation is taking its first step in systematically recognizing and communicating how climate change will specifically impact Aldabra Atoll and its outstanding universal value through a project named Climate Vulnerability Assessment and Justice for Aldabra, funded by the Rosa Luxemburg Foundation.
We at SIF have found the process extremely important because generally our discussions are always cluttered in inverted commas with many issues. So really in particular sitting down, discussing specifically climate change and its impact on a site allows us to think and to reflect in much more depth. And that is why we are coming up with also solutions in the larger context. And climate change is really looking ahead, so it's also a planning for a visionary exercise, I would say.
The project started in May 2021 with the overall aim of tackling the climate crisis by enhancing our understanding of how Aldabra is being impacted and communicating our work. The specific project objectives included, firstly, carrying out a climate vulnerability assessment for Aldabra through expert consultation with professors from James Cook University, Australia, which consisted of a series of virtual workshops.
So CVI in full means Climate Vulnerability Index, and this is in fact assessment, a tool for us to understand how much a particular area, and in this case Aldabra as a World Heritage Site, is being impacted by climate change.
These workshops identified Aldabra's key values from its statement of outstanding universal value and assessed its current conditions and recent trends vis-à-vis climate change.
Together, we analysed that extreme temperature events, drought, and storm intensity and frequency were the key climate stresses that we would take forwards in our analysis.
This information was then processed through a Climate Vulnerability Index framework, which has been specifically created for UNESCO World Heritage Sites. The project's second objective was to create an online database to store and share climate and associated data. This database will help communicate our availability of climate and other relevant data, allowing others to help us carry out research that can inform policies and galvanize climate action. The project's final objective is to communicate its outcomes as well as why and how other protected area managers can also replicate this first step.
Over the years it has come very clear, and also with our last management plan, that climate change is something what SIF has not really looked into sufficiently when it comes to the World Heritage Sites. It is particularly important because Aldabra is a low-lying atoll, which we believe has been hugely impacted, but now for us to assess and understand scientifically how much the impact can be put down into numbers, that's why we have to do that. I think for ourselves it's already quite surprising because everybody has been looking at climate change in terms of change over time, but it has come out very clear in the assessment that we are talking about extreme weather events which have a huge impact, and I think this is something which we hadn't realized. We always have been looking at constant change. So extreme changes are going to be something which we'll have to understand much better. This is not only in relation to storms, but also like coral bleaching. So that's what is sort of the very first outcomes we are looking at this point in time. So I would like to encourage anybody who is involved, regardless whether it's a World Heritage Site or any protected area, to engage in that process and to look ahead to understand how we have to get prepared to be able to adapt what is coming our way.
If you would like to know more about the projects, follow our social media platforms, subscribe to our monthly newsletters, and visit our website.